Hey everyone, this is the 6th episode of the World Cup podcast. This is your host Samson and my co-host. Introduce yourself.
This is Yoni.
And we have a special guest with us today. You can introduce yourself, bro.
What's up, guys? I'm Yassine and Rumar.
How you guys doing today?
Tired.
Hi.
I had a long day already, man.
Long day?
Kind of tired.
Yeah.
Excited to talk about a little bit of footy.
Yeah, for sure. How'd you guys enjoy the last game of the World Cup, France versus Argentina? You know,
Best World Cup game ever.
I would have to agree 100%.
That sums it up. Yeah, it probably one of the best games I've ever seen. So
Yeah, for me.
it's up there with like one of the all-time best games we have probably witnessed in
football history. Oh yeah,
football history. So, I mean, we're actually lucky to witness that, and it was crazy.
Yeah, to be honest, I think maybe like from the 75th minute, it was a very like Argentina controlled game, and then boom, France got that penalty, and then after that, it just shifted on France's side. It was unbelievable to see. Yeah.
That's the thing though with France. All tournament, you could see even against Morocco, they're not a dominant team.
Not at all.
They're chances.
100%.
Yeah,
they play off chances,
100%.
and they have world class players that do well in chances, like Mbappe. 2 shots in 2 minutes, 2 goals.
Their their shot on target conversion ratio to goal is insane.
Is insane.
Like, they're not like 2018. Their possession, they're not as much as a possession football
action kind of team. You know what I mean?
They're not as much
momentum.
because we've seen it with a lot of teams before. They actually they sit deep. They don't sit that deep, but they sit deep compared to comparing to the 2018 squad. But then they sit deep, and when they attack, they use their chances to the max. And we've seen it. Their conversion rate is up to par. Mbappe, they got some good players, and Mbappe was a spectacle on Sunday.
100%. I felt so bad for him. He literally he carried France to that game. Scoring a hat
4
trick.
goals. He scored 4 goals that game.
Yeah, one in penalty shootout, but yeah, a hat trick in game play, unbelievable.
It's insane. I've never seen that in my life before. What he did there, it was
something you play on FIFA or something. Yeah.
That was like he showed himself to the world, and he proved a lot of haters, a lot of people wrong that he's the guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has already a World Cup. He's only 23. His future is amazing, and it looks very bright. So he should keep that up. I know, like, after the game, he was very disappointed that he didn't win. Although he scored a hat trick in a World Cup final,
and he still
managed to lose the game. Like, how on earth? The odds of that are just purely insane.
Did you see the halftime speech that he had against Argentina?
Yeah.
Literally, he was really pissed off. You could just see he wanted this more than the rest of the team.
And it showed.
Yeah,
100%. It definitely showed. France came off in the first half scared.
Oh yeah,
Argentina was all over them. Possession, the amount of shots, chances created, and France was just nervous. And I mean, for me, a few days before the game, right after they lost to Morocco, right after they beat Morocco, we saw that a bunch of stuff came out, or how there's an illness going through, right?
You guys heard about that? That was a very funny one.
Yeah.
And they still managed to play their ill players, and I think it definitely showed.
I remember seeing this tweet where Dembele was saying he got some special tea to cure
the players,
And in the comments, people were going crazy saying he spent too much time. He knows the tricks and bits of staying in the hospital and all that. But yeah, it was funny. But yeah, like we said in the last podcast, I said Dembele kind of didn't show up for me in this World Cup, and the final game he kind of proved me right.
Yeah.
Because the first 30 minutes he had probably one of the worst individual performances I've seen in the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Like in the right hand and the left hand side, Di Maria absolutely annihilated him. Like he was all over the place. Even Koundé, he really struggled that game.
Yeah,
Let's be real. So we saw the fact that he's not actually he's not a right back.
Did you see that Dembele and Giroud fastest non-injury substitution?
Yep.
In the World Cup
They got subbed up before halftime, right?
41st minute.
41st, yeah.
They got subbed off.
I was really shook because the halftime is approaching. It's only 4 minutes away, and for me, Giroud didn't do anything warranting him to get subbed off. He didn't have the ball at all.
For sure.
Most of the game was playing on the Argentinian side of the.
It was he didn't do anything that he couldn't do. You know what I mean?
But
it was
apparently, it was a change of system, and Didier Deschamps, he came up with another system, but at the end we were wrong. I thought taking out Giroud was
it was a bad decision. I thought France gave up at that point, to be honest.
I thought what's going on.
Yeah.
But he proved us kind of right. He proved himself. After they went 3 at the back, 3-5-2, I think they played. They changed out. They took out. Who did they take out at the defense? I think the left back, Theo Hernandez. I think.
Yeah. I think so.
They took out Theo Hernandez. They played 3 at the back, and they added more midfilders and more attackers.
I was worried for that because Argentina's attack. I thought would give them opportunities.
I think the fact that they did that really helped them to get the equalizer for the Mbappe goals.
Yeah,
I'd have to disagree with you guys on the Giroud not doing enough to get substituted. For me, the Colomani has had a hell of a tournament. Unbelievable. Before I started watching the tournament, I didn't even know his name.
Yeah, most people didn't know his name.
Yeah.
And by the way, let me tell you something. He came into the squad very late after who was injured. I think after Nkunku got injured. Nkunku got injured, and he's the one that came off of him.
That performance that he put in, especially in the second half of the World Cup final, when he played against Morocco, a minute after he was substituted, he scored. He scored the goal to put it 2-0 to kill the game.
100%.
The game. And then he gets subbed on in the 41st minute. He had an assist, and he got the penalty. To do that is insane.
It's very
for your first World Cup, and it's absolutely nuts. But let's talk about how he missed the
last
120th minute shot.
I feel like people say he missed it, but I feel like it was a great shot for me, and Emi Martinez did a better job of saving. I feel like he placed it at the right spot, but Emi Martinez saved was absolutely incredible.
He used the goalie skills. I feel like the
goalie had more, emphasis on that. It was more like a good save rather than a bad miss. You get what I'm saying?
I feel that, but Mbappe there in that situation is finishing it.
Of course.
Even
in the penalty shootout, he was 1 out of 2 of the French players that scored the penalties.
Colomani?
Yeah. No. Mbappe and
Colomani
scored. Yeah, he scored the.
What a pen!
He put it in the middle. He belted.
What a pen!
Because all the other French players were just scoring right or they're scoring left. You know what I mean? He was smart.
What a pen! But I was shocked by him for sure.
I never understand why people don't ever go don't ever hit it in the middle of the when shooting penalties, because as a kid, as a player, as a goalkeeper, most people, they automatically say choose a side where you have to, where you have to dive.
Right.
And automatically there's that feeling in the goalkeepers, because if they're not gonna dive, they're gonna look like fools, Like they're just gonna stay in the middle. You're like, what are you doing? So hitting it in the middle, I don't know. It has to be done more. I know the pressure is there. It's hard. You have to think. Even as a player, you've been told pick a side before you hit it and all that. It's all mental games and all that. But
my dad always, since I've been growing up, is always pick a side. Never hit it down the middle.
Exactly. That's the problem.
Now when I play and I get into a penalty shootout, I always think about hitting it down the middle. Like even in FIFA, I hit it hard and I hit it down the middle and it's a goal. 100%. Like most of the time, because the keepers are always diving.
That's what I'm saying.
So it was a smart hit from him for sure.
But Colomani, let's talk about him. This guy has been rejected by several clubs in France.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Growing up the ranks, so he's a guy that's never had an easy path. A fair shot to professional football life. He never played for the under 19s, under 16 for France. He just went. He went through up the ranks. I think he was a Nantes. He was actually rejected by Nantes, and then he had to try his luck in another country. Where he's playing now in Eintracht Frankfurt, and he's actually scored 9 goals in very few games, so he's really doing well.
I think he'll get a money move soon.
Yeah. Especially the January transfer market coming out.
He has a lot of strength for a striker that's needed in this,
Do you guys think Mbappe's staying in January?
Oof.
Yeah, he is.
You think so?
Yeah, because he just got a contract 6 months ago.
Yeah, but he said right before the World Cup that he wants to leave.
It's the story with Mbappe is there's a lot of speculations, and you don't know what's the truth, and what's coming out from there and what's not right and what's wrong, what's the right information and all that. But I feel like he's getting paid some crazy amount at PSG, and we've seen him the president of France Emmanuel Macron, he went there to consolidate him. And you see like how much he like, you know, he's like the symbol of France right now. You know, like he's probably the most important
person in France
right now, even more than the Emmanuel Macron. So that's crazy to say. You know, the Parisians want him to stay, and he showed French people, because he has some hate from the French people.
Yeah,
he showed French people he's him, and you know he proved it to any haters. He had a lot of doubtful people, because you know he had a lot of misogyny, because you know he didn't move to Madrid and all that. The Spanish people really used to hate on him and all that. But now you know he showed the world that he's him.
And I think, and my fault, I was gonna say, I think from Mbappe's situation, like I was watching like some TikToks, and they're basically comparing him to prime Thierry Henry, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is like the biggest French player that they've had since maybe like Zidane or like Henry, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, from my personal opinion, I feel like he should play in a more competitive league. In my opinion, I feel like Champions League is where he gets his most competition, but I don't watch League One as often. But I know, I'm just from general like aspects, that like League One is not a very competitive league, you know. PSG usually dominates that league, you know. And I feel like, my personal opinion, I don't know, him going to Premier League, I would think suits him best. Also knowing Holland, you know, having, you know, he's like, his rise is amazing right now.
Yep.
And I feel like, for that comparison, I feel like those are the two hottest young stars in football right now. So I don't know, my personal opinion. You remember how like Messi, Ronaldo were in the same league for a very long period of time. Personally, I feel like I would rather see him in the Premier League, where everyone watches him on a weekly basis.
I think.
But what I would say, the Prem suits Holland. Holland's physical, strong, explosive, fast, hard hit. Like, the Prem is suited for him. Mbappe is not that type of player, in my opinion.
I feel like you'd shine in Prem as well.
You think so?
Yeah.
Who would you compare him to in the Prem?
You can say he's like the old Thierry Henry. I feel like he's a bit similar to that. He's not as maybe strong, maybe not as good looking in the eye, but I feel like he has very similar strength to him.
But he doesn't like to play up top.
Who?
Mbappe.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to come to the side. He's going to come from the left side. Sometimes he's going to play a 9. He can rotate wherever he wants, and he will still, you know, pull up. You'll still be clutch. But what team does fit him best in the Prem? That's another question.
That's Arsenal, obviously.
Nah.
Arsenal fan right here.
You guys will never be able to afford it. You can sell all type of
All I'm gonna say is that we are first in the league.
That's about to change soon. Watch out.
Yeah,
Prem is back next week.
Monday. Stay tuned.
So you know we're excited, but yeah, man. For me, Mbappe really like he's gonna be. For me, even people compare him to Haaland. For me, he's incomparable. Like he's proved it. Like Haaland. Mbappe is a game changer. He can, he can create something out of nothing.
You think Haaland needs a team to like create success?
100% needs a team.
Yeah.
You think so?
100%.
That's why Norway didn't make it to the World Cup, I would say. Like, if you really want to like go deep in there, like, I feel like, put it like this. I'll give you some players that literally carried their national teams to the World Cup on themselves. Drogba. Ivory Coast never made a World Cup before Didier Drogba joined their national team. After, he took them 4 straight times to the World Cup.
Yeah,
I would say, and I think as a Chelsea fan, I'm really like, this is gonna be hard for me to say, but Haaland's potential is like much like higher than like I would say Drogba's was. I would say not at the moment, but like
I feel like
Haaland is like, we're looking at Haaland as like a top 3 player in the world. You know what I mean? And like, you know what I mean? Drogba was a great player. You know, like best African player.
And let me tell you something. Honestly speaking, Ivory Coast qualifying for the World Cup is a much tougher task than
Norway qualifying
for the World Cup.
100%.
Because let me tell you something. Europe has like more than 12 spots in the World Cup easily.
Yeah,
they're only like 30-something countries, and you know,
it's like half the teams go to the World Cup.
Africa has 50 teams, and only 5 are qualifying. If you do a percentage of that, it's like extremely low.
Yeah.
So Norway, of course, and Norway have good players.
Yeah,
Hold on. If we talk about, so let's compare Ivory Coast's team to Norway's team.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me 2 standout players for Norway: Haaland and Odegaard.
Yeah.
How many more standout players are there on Norway?
I'll tell you, there's a lot more.
Like?
Okay, we can go to the right. I have to think about it, but
yeah.
Norway. There's Lille's Nice's goalkeeper, Schmeichel. Schmeichel plays.
No, he's Danish.
Oh, I said
Schmeichel. Yeah,
Schmeichel's Danish. You're right.
Yeah, Schmeichel. His dad was the goalkeeper for United. Yeah.
What's Norway?
Exactly.
No, we can look at it.
I want to look at this. This is actual.
Let's go. Ivory Coast have had a more standout team than Okay, I guess Holland, top 2 strikers in the world right now. Odegaard, one of the best 10s in the Prem.
There's this guy also from Leipzig, if I'm wrong.
So I would say that
let's look at it.
And the teams that you play, the teams that are played
Holland,
in Africa.
Odegaard.
Yeah, they got Joshua King from, if you guys remember, from like Bournemouth days.
Yeah.
Let me see.
He doesn't play anymore.
Mohamed El Yassine. Come on.
Is he definitely Egyptian? Moroccan. These are Moroccan player on Norway.
Yeah, he can stay there.
Sander Berg, if you guys seen him, like he's a really good player. Like, you know, there's some people out there that, like, you know,
like, put it like this. Like he said, Norway has a higher chance of going to the World Cup than Ivory Coast did. Ivory Coast is competing with 50 countries. 50 countries out of 5. That's like a 10% chance of going to the World Cup.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ivory Coast has not made the World Cup since Drogba has left the national team.
Ivory Coast is one of the best teams in Africa.
They have not made the World Cup since Drogba left the national team. They have not made the World Cup since Drogba.
That makes sense, but Ivory Coast is one of the best teams in Africa in itself. Norway is a small country, population of maybe 4 million. They have 2 superstars, but 2 superstars aren't good. Odegaard is 20.
So was Ivory Coast.
22.
Ivory Coast was Yaya Toure and Didier Drogba.
That's it.
That was literally carrying the Ivory Coast team.
I know they had Gervinho and all that.
Yeah, but they were superstars. Yaya Toure was one of the best
top 5
Premier League
leagues. Mm-hmm. How many players in Norway are playing in the top 5 leagues?
Not too much. For sure. Comparatively, I feel like if we go like player to player, I feel like Ivory Coast probably the older team. Yeah. But let's talk about the current Ivory Coast squad. They don't have. I know they have Wilfried Zaha and all that. They still have Kessie and all that.
Zaha, Kessie, Nicolas Pepe. Yeah. They have ballers. They have ballers. They just squad. The other teams in Africa like Morocco, Nigeria, Cameroon. I can list a handful of teams that are better than them. But I would still say if Ivory Coast and Norway were to play, Holland's going to be a danger man. Odegaard is going to be a creator, but the rest of the team lets them down for sure.
Yeah, true.
And when you're playing in Europe, 12 go through whatever the number is, but you're playing against harder teams. Norway will play against France to try and qualify. Norway versus France.
Yeah, of course.
Norway versus Denmark. Denmark before entering the World Cup was supposed to be the dark horse for the tournament. It's just so many different teams are just.
I would agree there. Of course, I would agree.
But let me tell you something. Just the amount of teams that makes it to the World Cup from the Europe is much more significant.
100%.
So for me, if you like comparatively, if I say it, qualifying for the World Cup in the African pool, it's definitely harder than the qualifying from the European one. That's why you see a lot of dark horses being European countries, you know, because there's a lot of them qualifying already. Because you know they have a lot of their chance of qualifying is much greater than the African team. So like overall, I say like still like there's a lot of good teams that are like comparatively better in the European selection than the African one, but overall, I feel like the next World Cup is going to change. So next World Cup is going to be a different story because it's going to be at least 9 African countries. It's going to be at least 9 African countries, qualifying for the World Cup. So that's going to be a good watch. But yeah, lacking it so far.
Wait, you said 9 or 10?
9, but I think there's also a qualifier, so it could be 10.
It could be 10.
9 stretching to 10, so that's how it is for the next. It's going to be a good watch.
That's definitely a positive step for Africa in itself.
For sure,
like how we talk about like history being made, like Morocco, like be completely honest, before the World Cup started, who would have thought Morocco was going to make it to the semifinal, final four of the World Cup?
Not a single analyst, not a single expert, no one.
For me, as like I'm Moroccan, so as a Moroccan fan, being able to watch as many games from Morocco as like France played is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
At a certain point after we beat Belgium, the whole world just started joining.
Yeah.
The whole world.
I agree.
Everyone started rooting for it.
That was crazy.
Before the World Cup even started, Morocco was the group of death. For me, at least. You have Croatia, World Cup finalist, 100%. Last time. Belgium, they were going in second in the rankings. And then you have Canada, an explosive, electric,
very young team.
And everyone would thought I would watch a lot of what's it called? A lot of predictions, a lot of stuff, showing that Morocco is going to come 3rd or 4th. And you know me, I'm Moroccan. All Africans are biased. We're always going to say, okay, we're going to make it out the group. We're going to do our best to make it out the group.
Yeah.
So I thought we could push second, but I genuinely didn't think there was even a chance of us winning the group. You know,
that was crazy. Winning the group is like the first African country to win a group stage, and like since like in like 40 years. So it's insane.
I think Morocco was the last team to win a
we
group
were
in
last team
86.
to win a group.
In 86,
wow.
yeah.
So like they repeated history then.
Yeah. But to make it at like to watch the quarterfinals against Portugal, for me,
That was satisfying.
that like everyone celebrated
Yeah.
after that game.
That was a world celebration. That was
world
even more-
celebration.
yeah.
Like if you were to go watch like Instagram and TikToks and stuff, everyone was celebrating a Morocco win. You know, history. That was the first time in history.
Yeah,
How many
100%.
times do you genuinely think that's gonna happen?
Not too
An
much.
African team making it
In
final
our
four?
lifetime, not too many times.
Not
Not too
too
many
many.
times.
No way.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I say this is the best World Cup I've ever witnessed. History's been made multiple times. Messi,
Yeah.
did he end the GOAT debate? We'll talk about
We'll
that.
talk
in a
about
bit.
that. Yeah, in a little bit. Yeah.
It just so many things could have happened. Like if you watch the Final Four, Croatia could have made finalists 2 times in a row.
Big deal.
France could have won the tournament 2 times in a row.
Right.
Messi could have won the World Cup. Morocco would have made it to the first ever African team to make the World Cup final. There were just like so many,
so
like
many
history was
scenarios
made
in a great way
already
too.
in a bunch of ways.
I feel like the 2018 World Cup, there was some like upsets in history made, but I don't feel like it was as exciting as like the 2000 like this
Yeah.
World Cup in my opinion. So I 100% agree. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean this World Cup for me as well was probably the best World Cup I've ever witnessed. So like
in my life.
it
Yeah,
says something. I've watched since probably I've also watched the 2006 World Cup final since my memory is not failing me. But so after the 2010 World Cup, yeah, for sure. For me, like the underdog stories, whether it be the dramas, I mean even the football game, like the tactics side of it was very intriguing as a football fan. And for me, for sure, this was up there. It was one of the best World Cups probably ever, because football is always getting better in one way or another. The players are getting better every year, so the standards always one up from every year. So like we've witnessed greatness, so we're proud of that to witness it.
Also for me, like after a while, like I watched a lot of the games, if not all of them.
Yeah.
I would say that I really didn't watch many teams sit back and just let a team attack them the whole time without hitting them back. So as compared to the Morocco-Spain game or the Morocco-Portugal game, Morocco knew that they weren't gonna. Spain had 1,000 passes that game.
Yep.
That the way to break down a team like that is to sit back, and then when you get the ball, you counter them quick.
Yeah.
So there are a handful of times where I could have seen like Morocco get the ball and then build out of the press so quick, and they already get a chance.
right.
And it just shows like other teams like aren't always gonna win because the World Cup is different. It's you win, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You need 4 points. Unless it's like a crazy group, you need 4 points to go through.
Right.
A win and a tie, you can have a loss. For the most part. But that just shows like other teams, like small teams, are going at it now. They're starting to get going. Like they're gonna attack France. Like teams are gonna attack France. Teams are gonna attack Argentina. Like the Netherlands game in 10 minutes, Netherlands scores two goals.
What? That was a crazy.
goals.
That was a crazy affair.
That game was one of the craziest games also I've ever witnessed.
For sure.
That was like comparable to like the French and Argentina game.
100%.
And
I think one thing we realized in this World Cup is like the footballing ability from different countries is not too different.
Yeah.
And it's not the difference between the football ability between Argentina and Saudi and all that. Like the football is going everywhere and exponentially. So like we've seen, like we're saying, like the English Premier League and all these big leagues. The leagues are significantly. People think their leagues are significantly better quality than the other leagues, but this World Cup has proved us wrong. People that play in lower divisions, divisions you've never heard from. Like countries from all over the world, even and we've seen it. Like people should, have a look on other leagues, and because there are special players everywhere in the world now, so we don't only need to look from these big leagues we talking about. So the football is growing everywhere, and even the quality's showing is telling. So that's good in a way, because I feel like a lot of youngsters from like countries that are not ranked properly are gonna have big moves that are gonna change their lives, and that's very important you know, as Africans, you know.
100%. Starting with Ghana, Kudus, you know.
Yeah.
And I was also saying, like, who do you guys feel like, you know, impressed you the most? Like what, like maybe top 2, top 3 teams that like really impressed you during like the tournament, like compared to like how you thought of them. Of course, Morocco.
Yeah,
Morocco
for me has to be first place.
Yeah.
For teams that surprised, I think they surprised the whole world.
100%.
What other team? For me, I think Ghana.
Yeah.
Ghana had the ability.
They had the
mindset. So much stuff. Like, for me, Portugal, unlucky, okay?
Yeah.
Goalkeeper makes a mistake in the last minute. You grab the ball, you slip.
Exactly.
You know? That's unfortunate. Okay, you take the L for that. Didn't think it should have been an L, but it's okay. We moved.
Yeah.
They end up winning the next game. Then it came down to Ghana and Uruguay. It was 2010, right?
Yeah, 2010. That was the revenge game from
2010.
All over again.
For me, if the same thing happened between... Again, I'm talking a lot about Morocco. I apologize, but if the same thing was to happen between Morocco and Uruguay, and the same thing happened in 2010, Moroccans are going in for Suarez and breaking his leg. You know, like Africans. Like,
I feel like Ghana was too soft that
game.
Dude,
they didn't too soft. I feel like they didn't remember what was going on in the game.
I was like, what's going on, bro? If I was there, I'm not even gonna name him, but if I was there, I would have, like, you know,
gone in at him. Yeah, exactly.
Being generally serious, bro.
No. And for Suarez to come out with the interview the day before the game and say, I'm never gonna apologize. It's not my fault that he missed a pen.
That should bring another instant fire
into the players. Like, he should. Like, one of the center backs should have just, like, I would take a red card. Like, if I was the coach, I'd put a player in just to break his leg and then take him out.
That's like, you know what I mean? That's a revenge story, you know? Like, I feel like Ghana played. That was the worst game Ghana played that whole tournament. Literally, 100%. And it's crazy to me. It was against Uruguay, in my opinion. Like,
it's crazy to me.
And they missed a pen.
I feel like that's what set them up.
That set them up.
Yeah,
100%.
And I feel like Andre Ayew time is up, bro. You have to.
He's old. What is he, like,
Andre
35 years old?
The Ayew brothers, time is up, brothers.
Jordan Ayew,
bro. I know their father was a legend, but his time is up. Kudus was there. His shooting ability, I've never seen.
He should have taken the penalty. He should have taken that penalty. If you want to be real.
Even with Uruguay, he had like the smallest chances, but you know when he had it, he hit it like.
Yeah, he went.
He hit it with the laces. You know, he
confident
hit him right.
Kid.
He has a bright future, and I was very disappointed. You know, Andre Ayew, and apparently like his daughter fainted midway through the halftime. That's why he got substituted.
Really?
Yeah. And when he missed the penalty, apparently like she lost consciousness.
Wow.
And
that's why repeat.
That's what I'm saying. Repeat another penalty miss. Come on, God. You expect better, but yeah, that game set it up. But another team that impressed me was. I feel like Japan impressed me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Very unlucky to not win against Croatia, and I feel like they're really good. Their crosses, even like another Asian team, Australia, big ups.
Second,
come on, man. Second, like no one expected that. I mean, they played, very, I don't know how to say it, very old-fashioned way of playing football, but it works for them. It works. So 4-4-2 formation. They go on the sides, they cross, they have this big dude, number 15 on the back, I don't know his name. He scored headers and all that. He was a very good player. And, I think, they as a team, they were a good team for me.
No, 100%. To be honest, when I was looking at my predictions, I had Japan. I also had South Korea. South Korea
played well.
Very well, especially at the end, beating Portugal, the last game. I would also say Senegal, without Mane, really impressed me. Getting out the group. Yeah,
they tried.
Yeah, I was impressed by them. I to be honest, I thought that team was a failure. After Mane.
No, they had some good players.
No, for sure. But
one player that really intrigued me from the Ghana game though is this guy Suleimani.
Yeah.
Jesus, I have never seen that in my life. And he didn't even start the game. He substituted him like 70-something minutes. And Suleimana, one for the books. We'll come back to him like a couple of years and we'll see, because he's a star. And most of these Ghanaian players come from one academy. I think it's the Black Star Academy. It's in Accra, and it shows you like how like Kudus is from there, Suleimana's from there. There's this academy, and they have partnered with the.
I know what you're talking about. It's called the Right to Dream Academy.
The Right to Dream Academy.
So they have a partnership with the team in Denmark called FC Nordsjælland.
Okay.
And so they would take turns. So all the Ghanaian players would go to Denmark for 3 months, play with FC Nordsjælland, and then come back.
Wow.
For 3 months, and then go back and keep doing that until they progressed and good enough to play for FC Nordsjælland. So Kudus is one of those players, because I played in Denmark and I remember always hearing his name. His name is always, like, I played on, like, When
You
I was
played in Denmark?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was that?
2 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So when I was playing there, I actually played on FC Nordsjælland's Right to Dream Park field, and Kudus was watching. So his name is always like in Denmark, like you talk about like a top 5 players in the country, his name is always mentioned up there. And from then on, I knew he was gonna make a move.
Yeah.
I knew he
That's
was
a
gonna
crazy
make
story right there, right? One time, right?
I knew he was gonna make a big money move because all the agents, everyone always just talked about him. Always just talked about him. He has a bright future. He's actually linked with the best team in the EPL. Could possibly be going there.
Arsenal?
Yeah.
I got good jokes today.
So I mean, yeah, he's one of those players that definitely look out for, and had a really good World Cup.
Yeah. He plays on Ajax right now, but I think January he
He'll
has like a
definitely
chance to
get a
make a
move.
move, right? Yeah.
I think I saw he was linked with Liverpool as well.
Liverpool? Oh,
Well, he knows the right choice.
Because I think he scored against them as well, so they've Klopp probably seen him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's gonna have a good career regardless of what's gonna happen.
He's like 22 years old too. He's so young.
I feel like Ajax is the best team to develop, you know,
Yeah.
to grow as a star. We've seen a lot of players from Ajax going big wherever they went. So
Absolutely.
I think going to Ajax or Dortmund is like the perfect places for youngsters to go and develop as a player.
I would say, let's talk about one more subject in the World Cup. Can we talk about the group with Costa Rica?
Oh my God.
That one for
Germany, the last games of the day.
This is insane. I've never
Absolutely insane. Who was Spain playing?
Spain was playing. No.
Japan.
Japan.
They lost to Japan.
They
Yeah.
lost to Japan.
Yeah.
That second goal for Japan was outrageous.
I've never seen that. Have you seen that?
bro.
Dude, never in my life. For me, if that happened and anyone I've ever played with, that happens, they're letting the ball go out. For the player to go run at it and keep it
the
in,
mentality.
and then manage to score off that.
Very little space too to like
You
score
seen
that.
that from the upper? People thought it was out because they saw it from a different angle.
Yeah.
Perspective.
He was like running towards like that. Towards the keeper.
Because but the camera, there's a spider camera, the web camera from up top.
Yeah.
There's a screenshot. There's a shot from there, and it showed like the tiny bit part.
Tiniest bit
Part of the part was the ball was in the line.
Right.
So like, the rule is that the ball has to be fully out of the line to be, to be a kickoff or anything like that.
Costa Rica almost went through.
I mean, that part was the what? I mean, that part.
Japan,
It was 2-1, right?
It was at some point where Japan and Costa Rica was going.
that was
insane.
Japan. I know Costa Rica was up 2-1 against Germany. I believe so,
Yeah,
right?
for
2-1
2
or 1
minutes,
for
for 2
I don't
minutes.
even think a good director could script that. Like never. I mean, that's the type of shit in football you see. Like you can never presume that will happen.
Yeah, absolutely
That for me,
insane.
that was that game. I mean, probably thought Germany would win easily.
Yeah.
And Spain would win easily, and probably those two teams would easily pass the group. But no, I mean that's why the World Cup and we love it.
That's excitement
That's why
like
the
that.
hype is there. That's why people,
That's what I was talking about, how like the smaller teams will go for it. You know?
Yeah.
Like who would have thought Japan is gonna beat Spain?
Never.
Not a single. Again, nobody.
Who thought Costa
Nobody.
Rica was gonna put up a game against Germany?
No.
Not me. Definitely not me. Because we've seen some absolute underdog stories that
Complete underdog stories.
we'll talk about it for years to come. By the way, because this doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
That's why we're like really gobsmacked. Really like it was amazing. But coming to the final,
Yeah.
let's talk about the final, man.
Man, for my predictions, I would just not predictions, but from my analyst of like the game, I thought to be honest, after that first half, I was like, Argentina 3-0, 4-0, you know what I mean? Call it a day, kind of like the Croatia versus France World Cup. I was kind of like, this is gonna be a domination, a blowout, you know?
Because France didn't have a shot on target. Not even
didn't
a
have
shot on target. They didn't even have a shot till the 45th minute.
Are you serious?
Yeah. At that point, I was like, what's going on? They didn't have nothing. They didn't have a corners. They didn't have nothing. No possession. They were lackluster. Like they were not running as much. They outrun them in every aspect possible. Argentina was the better
Dominating.
team first half.
Ball control.
And I was like,
passing,
damn, I did not expect that. I knew France was not a team that would dominate as much as like the old days. But like that at that point, they had no control in the middle. Especially they lost the middle.
Yeah.
The middle was very, very, very
weak. Yeah.
And let's talk about McAllister from Brighton, because man, I thought he was Messi, because you know the same height, a little same color. They got the beard as well.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, McAllister, you know.
He's also linked to the best team in the EPL.
Look at this guy.
And you know, I've seen, like, it was last year I think, and I've seen McAllister's first game. I was like, who the hell was that? Sounds so British, man. Who the hell is that?
Yeah.
Apparently I see he's like Argentinian. I was like,
There's no way.
I was like, what? Apparently he has like Irish or Scottish Irish roots, and his
his I saw like it was like
I saw a video. Grandfather's like brothers like still in Ireland, and they're still cheering from Ireland. So like he has like, you know, he has a good amount of Irish blood in him. So I mean, but like the way he controls the ball, the way, like, I mean, he's been very impressive. Even lately for the Premier League for Brighton, he's been playing really good.
Yeah.
But now, like, you know, his price went up now. Like, his price went up. So Brighton, and by the way, Brighton literally, they knew, I don't know what, like, Brighton, by the way, they're a really good team. They're a really good footballing team. By the way, before the World Cup, they made him sign a new contract. So anybody that's trying to buy the ball, anybody that's trying to buy McAllister has to spend a crazy amount. And I don't think Arsenal would do that.
Smart. Yeah. 40 mil.
Not 40 mil. It has to be at least 60 mil, I think, with the new contract. So
we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Question. Does Messi winning the World Cup make him the GOAT?
Oof. You want to go? You go ahead, Yoni. I have a lot to say, but
I have a lot to say too. I feel like, you know, one thing first, I feel like maybe it will. But like, coming to my point, I feel like praising someone doesn't mean, like, you know, like when we praise Ronaldo, when we praise Messi, when we say like he's a band, doesn't mean we have to generally compare them. Yeah. I feel like for me they both GOATs, but I know if we have to really compare them as individuals, which is very hard to do in the footballing world. Probably Messi as does because of the World Cup. I have to say that. But you know, like, in football, there's different type of influence. You know, of course, people love Messi because of his football ability. Probably Ronaldo like him because of his influence in the football and how many people he got into the game, and how many men look up to him. You know, the dedication, the discipline, all that comes with it. So for me, like, when we praise one guy, doesn't mean we have to
downgrade the other
guy. So that's going on. Like, the disrespect Ronaldo's been getting lately is absolutely outrageous. They're acting like he was Andy Carroll or something. Like, come on now, like, you know. Yeah. And we've been I mean, it's crazy to me. I mean, Ronaldo for me will always be the GOAT as well. But Messi, for me, Messi had that cherry on the top moment, because it's insane. Like,
it's the best trophy he could possibly win.
It's insane, and at that age, like, you can ask for more. Like, it's the best thing he could have done to his career. And you know, like, we've seen a lot of careers going, like, not ending in the right way with, like, in a lot of sports. So for him to be that probably made him the greatest athlete of all time. So it's insane.
To be honest,
but, you know.
To be honest, when I look at this, you know, after him winning the World Cup, I don't think there's much of an argument. I feel as if, you know, I think Ronaldo would have to win like a European trophy, like one more European trophy to even like put him in that conversation. But by far, Messi's won every trophy in Europe possible. Am I wrong?
Yeah, every trophy possible.
Yeah, every trophy.
Europe.
Yeah,
and
every international trophy he could possibly win, right?
Yeah, so the America he won the Copa America, he won everything actually.
Yeah.
He won everything, and he probably has more Ballon d'Ors as well.
7, yeah.
When he's probably gonna get, if PSG is gonna be in good hands, they're gonna win the Champions League, he's gonna have another one, which is sad. The problem with, like, you know, Kylian, Neymar, and Mbappe being probably for me, they're literally the top 3 best players in the world. They're on the same team. They're all on the same team.
It's mind-boggling
to me. Like, they're the top 3 best players in the world for me. Like, not even a question. And I've been saying that for a minute. But like, them being in the same team, you know, we can't really outshine them in another stage. And the only way to outshine them in another way is if it's like internationally. Messi got it. So now Mbappe probably have to do some wonders, you know, to get the Ballon d'Or. Or Messi have to be injured and he has to score some outrageous amount of numbers. Or, like, you know, like, individually performance, he has to.
But it's like you said, they play on the same team, and
that's what I'm saying. So it's hard to compete after this because when you win together. Because you know what I'm saying?
That's why I feel like that's another reason why Mbappe should leave.
Yeah,
that's why, because
that's the main reason for me Mbappe should leave.
Because he needs to prove himself elsewhere. You know what I mean? And Neymar, I think like him needing support of Messi is like, you know what I mean? I think he still needs it. I don't think Neymar can go to another team and like do it himself.
I think he could, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, for me, Neymar is
100%.
the most disrespectful player on
he's
earth.
The most disrespected player on earth.
On earth. Like,
why do you guys feel like that? Why do you guys feel like that?
Top three players.
That type of, I mean, for me, honestly speaking, from natural ability, I've been blessed with a lot of football. Like, I've seen since I was a kid, a lot of football players day in, day out. But him, I've never seen anything like it. Like,
never.
As a pure football naturally gifted guy.
Yeah.
For me, Mbappe is engineered. He's built. He's mechanized into being himself. But Neymar is just
it's like flawless. You know what I mean?
I don't know how to say it. He's born to be a soccer player. He's born to be a football player.
Like Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho.
But for me, I've said it before, even the last podcast. Neymar, I think Neymar definitely, and even for Brazil, and we've seen it even with when they lost to Croatia. We've seen how influential he was. He scored the goal out of nothing. He literally created it. They tried to tackle him. He swifted the way he drifted his body to not tackle him. He came that's not he I'm telling you that.
That's like more than IQ. You know what I mean? That's something
more than IQ, and that's what I'm saying. Like Neymar, if he was not put up on in this generation, we would have seen how good he's still, we're seeing how good he is, but we would have probably valued him more and appreciated him more if he was not brought in.
If he was separate, there's more less superstars in And I feel even with Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, them having the spotlight.
That's what I'm saying.
Neymar having to fight to find a spot there, and then the young generation coming in that same time. Yeah. I feel like it's tough for Neymar.
Unlucky. He's very, very unlucky.
Yeah, but for me, Messi's the GOAT for sure. 100%.
I think Ronaldo is putting his career down the drain.
That's a problem
with everything that's going on.
That's a good.
That's a real issue.
Dude,
he's not in a good place.
Before he left Madrid, best player in the world. Juventus, still arguably one of the best players in the world. Still putting up crazy numbers, even though he's aging. 35 years old. What was it?
When he went to Juventus,
he scored the header that he scored.
Oh my goodness. He was still dominating Champions League.
Insane. Still playing well in the Champions League.
He was top scorer.
Yeah. Then he gets the Man U.
Let's be real. Even last year, Man U, he was good. He was very
exactly.
He was the top scorer. He was everything shifted for me this season. After probably people said his daughter died, and after that you see Ronaldo's not been the same. He lost it in terms of I don't know what's holding him back. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Ronaldo. Every time we say Ronaldo has lost it, he's. I've never seen someone prove people wrong, saying don't doubt me and all that. But this time around, I felt even going to Piers Morgan and doing the interview, that's not him. And I know I've been a Ronaldo fan since I ever remember, because I've been a Man U fan my whole life. And I don't know if he lost some sense of
confidence.
I don't think it's confidence.
Professionalism
is more like it. Professionalism is more like it, because he knows he has nothing to prove after this, and he can't really take. I feel like him losing his. I feel like him fighting. He's fighting against his age, and at some point, however we want, we can honestly, you can eat, sleep, stay at the gym 24/7. But at some point, when the age kicks in, you can't really help it. And he's dragged it this long. Being at 37, being pro, playing in the Premier League is not something. It's not anybody wouldn't do that. And we've seen Ronaldo's his self etiquette and his discipline brought him up to here. And for many years he's been the best. But I feel at this point of his age, he's sensing he can't take the fact that he's aging. And that's a very bad
That's an ego. That's a big ego for him.
That's a big ego. He not accepting him not being as good as he was. I don't know, bro. Sometimes I think he should go to therapy or something.
For me, it's not all his fault. Man U fans are the worst fans in the world.
Damn.
Look at his jersey right now.
That's a crazy take.
Man U fans are the worst fans in the world.
Why would you say that? And I would disagree with that.
Ronaldo is your GOAT. He won you guys a Champions League.
I mean, I'm not gonna say we never had he's one of our best players.
He's the best player.
You guys are very your best player. Decorated
ever.
team. They have
Yeah, but he's your best player ever.
Comparatively, there's people that
Like who? Who would you put him on the same
I
like
think Rooney's up there with him.
better than Ronaldo?
I've never said better, but I think he's up there
Okay, exactly.
with
But still, that means Ronaldo is the best player to
In
ever
some
play
ways.
for Man U is Ronaldo.
him. In some ways, yeah.
How fast you guys switched on him?
But we didn't switch up on him.
wait.
Don't ever forget that.
After you guys switched up on him after the end of the season, after he was your top goal scorer because he didn't want to run and defend, he didn't want to press for you guys. After you guys know that Ronaldo, at that point you guys know Ronaldo was what, 37. He banged you guys what, 18 goals in the Prem
Yeah.
that year. For a 37-year-old to bang you 37-year-old to bang you 18 goals.
It's crazy.
That's like
That's crazy.
That's not humane.
That's
That's like,
insane.
yeah.
That's crazy.
No player's ever done that.
my dad is like 45. He can barely walk.
My God. I hope your dad's not watching
I'm so sorry.
So for Ronaldo to be able to like do it at that level at that age, and he starts getting subbed off, and the second people lose, Ronaldo isn't pressing his man. Ronaldo isn't.
But that
doing
happened this year, don't forget.
No, that happened towards the end of last season. That's when he started getting subbed.
The end of last season after Ten Hag came. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. But I agree where you come from.
Let me finish.
I agree where you come from.
So when he bangs you guys goals against Tottenham, let's talk about Tottenham.
Yeah.
He scored the hat trick that game,
He saw
didn't he?
that, yeah.
Oh, Man U fans loved him then. But the next game he had a bad game, it inspired me. It was his fault. Okay? So, I mean, as a player, to already hear that from the world, from the fans that are supposed to love you and, like, take care of you no matter what, that's already mentally hard. And then his daughter, unfortunately, died. And he couldn't go back to training. He missed some of the preseason because of it. And then the Man U board to say, oh, he's lying, like, he's just trying to cover up a move or something. Like, I mean, I think that the interview was good.
Damn, that's a crazy take.
Piers Morgan interview?
Because I think
100%.
I think that was very unprofessional of him. Let me tell you where I come from. Let me tell you, I know most Man U fans how they act. You know, I have a lot of them on Twitter everywhere. I know how we are. You know, for the most part, I know it's a toxic fan base. I'm not gonna deny that.
It's the most toxic fan base.
It's one of the most. It's probably a bit toxic, but let me say it. Last year, I'm gonna be honest. There are probably some people, you know, rowdy saying Ronaldo, what's going on with them, but most people, I'll tell you for sure. Most people backed Ronaldo last year, even when he was not scoring, because we know like the history behind it. We've come a long way. He won his Champions Leagues, everything, Premier Leagues, and all that. And like even when he like last year, like he was not his best, but he still pulled up. Like he still scored a lot of goals. And at the end, the problem with Ten Hag is he's a very astute coach in terms of like if he doesn't get the best out of his system, he doesn't care about big names and all that. That's a rift itself. Like managing big players is actually a big managing skills. So you need to know how to do that. And probably Ten Hag lacked a little bit of that. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I like him, like managing Ronaldo was that probably a weakness he had. But on the Ronaldo side as well, we backed him till last year, even this year coming to up.
No one backed him this year.
I did. I personally did. Let me tell you something. No, I'm talking before the Piers Morgan interview though. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Let me coming off of that, and he came late preseason. I was like, what's going on? Like, was he trying to cover up a move like they're saying, or like everybody was confused? They were not against Ronaldo. I'll be very real with you, because people, you know, they've been through the ranks. Maybe in social media, kids, you know, nowadays that never seen Ronaldo play.
Just trolling or something.
Just trolling. But I'll tell you, like the true fan base never like turned his back on him until that interview. That interview broke it for me. That interview for me was very unprofessional in terms of like the respect, bro. Like, you know, you could have left. You saying, you know,
what harm did he say?
You saying him saying too much? Or
not him saying, like him being employed by the club and saying all of that. I'm like, the part where you said about the owners and all that, I really thank you. I'm very grateful, and we know it. We've been Glazer out for time now. But the part where you like you know, the coach, insulting the coach, even insulting the last coach, you know, like, come on, that's very unprofessional. Come on now. But you don't talk about coach like he was talking about Ragnick's. He used to be some type of, he never heard of him. Or
who is Ragnick?
But he was bro, come on, Ragnick. Like, I'm not saying he was supposed to know him, but like bashing him, saying, you know, how come he support like you know he has
have like a private, like, you know what I mean, like private conversation compared to like a public conversation.
Yeah.
You know, him knowing like this is going.
You don't throw
Piers
shade.
Morgan having a big name already.
You don't throw shades around social media. You're a big man, bro. Like, let me tell you something. He's the most followed person on Instagram.
Yeah,
he's influential to many kids. I'm talking about all
probably
type
the most
of people
influential football player.
Probably one of the most influential people on earth.
Yeah.
And when you have that, you have big responsibilities coming with that. You have to be exemplary, bro. I know you might be mad inside. You know he has a lot to say and all that. But man, you don't go out, especially Piers Morgan. I know Piers Morgan's like he mucked him. He absolutely used
manipulated
him. Piers Morgan is absolutely. He's probably one of the best journalists as a journalist. But I really hate him because you know he used the hell out of it. The way he marketed it. He was throwing Twitter videos for days saying leading up to the, you know, exclusive interview, and I mean he milked it. I mean, of course, Piers Morgan likes you know,
attention. I feel like he likes the tension. He
100% loves that, and
he got it out of Ronaldo.
He got it out of Ronaldo, and like that really, I feel like Ronaldo didn't. He didn't go to Piers to be like he didn't come out. I feel like he didn't like purposely went there to come out as the way he came out. But
Piers Morgan does that too.
Does that too, and he had to know better. That's my whole point.
I would agree.
For me, after fans that you're a goat for turn on you, the amount of stuff that he did for the Man U, the amount of stuff that he's done for soccer, I believe that you guys ruined him.
Wow.
You guys ruined his reputation.
This is a Ronaldo fan, by the way. So
I'm not a Ronaldo fan.
You're not?
I'm neutral. I'm a soccer fan. So,
okay.
Man U fans ruined him. They ruined his reputation. Mark my words, next time he signs for a team, and hopefully he signs for a European team in the Champions League, he'll boss it. He'll kill it. He's not over yet. He has, I'm telling you right now, 2 years, you find a good playing style for him, where he doesn't have to do press. You can have your wingers press in. He can pick up the balls. Put him in the right position at the right time. He'll bang you goals, and he'll kill it in the Champions League. I think.
Isn't he going? Didn't he sign it for the Saudi team?
No,
not yet.
But that's the thing. What team is gonna get him? What team is gonna put the?
He's been training at Real Madrid recently. Have you heard that? Have you heard that?
Yeah. But what team is gonna put the
money?
Not the money. The what's it called?
The
risk,
prodigy, and the tactics. And
you think it's the team that's taking a risk?
At this point, the teams are taking a risk, but I think it's a risk well taken.
I would disagree with that. Like at this stage of his career, if I was Ronaldo, I'd probably go like I've proved like he's won everything. Of course, he's never won the World Cup, but he's proved like he has nothing to prove anymore. He shouldn't go to another top club. He might, rather than if he wants to prove himself, I don't know. Like there's also a chance of him, destroying his like legacies because he might get a top club and go there, and if he's not gonna perform, his legacy is gonna be more tarnished. I feel like rather than him doing that at this age, he's already done it all. He should just go relax, go to Saudi, get his 250 mil a year. In 4 years, he's gonna be a billionaire.
He already is a billionaire.
He's already a billionaire.
The thing is with Ronaldo, he doesn't need money anymore.
I think he's
gonna sign for the next club, so he can shut people's mouths.
It's
an ego thing. It's an ego thing.
With Messi winning the World Cup,
that's an ego thing.
With Messi winning the World Cup,
it's driving him crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna burn fan. But I see that him doing. But what team is gonna sign him? That's the question.
Yeah,
because he's not like he doesn't have the juices he used to. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because what team's gonna let's look at it.
I saw
what team could he go to?
I saw Frankfurt say.
Yeah, Frankfurt. Yeah, they were saying
Twitter. They said, we've been offered Ronaldo. But,
a long time ago, not.
But I feel like Ronaldo is just trying to get into any Champions League team at this point.
Yeah.
So,
would you say he goes back to any of his former teams, Juve, Real Madrid?
No. Maybe Sporting. I was thinking about maybe Sporting.
Oh yeah, because they're in Europe.
They're in Europe. But other than that,
yeah,
I just don't see any team in England, Spain,
Italy,
France, maybe Italy. But he's not gonna go back to Italy because I don't think he likes it.
AC Milan is pretty good. They don't need him.
But they don't need that. Giroud and all that. Italy. even Germany, Bayern said we don't need him. Maybe Dortmund, I'm not sure. I don't think it fits him though.
Yeah,
because I just don't envision it. Rather than like him taking that risk, like there's also like I know it's an ego thing, but sometimes you gotta calm down. Ego's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Don't forget when it's an ego thing. He's already proved everything. Why would he like again at this day and age? He got kids, he got a wife. You know what I'm saying? He can of course peacefully retire. Not as of course he's not gonna be like the fact that Messi win this. Like I know it's gonna fuel him and it's gonna burn him inside, but he still had a fucking amazing career, bro. Like everything shouldn't be competition with Messi. I feel like he's written his own story in this like football, in the football histories, and he should peacefully, you know, rather than him tarnishing his name.
Resign.
That's the same thing.
I feel like
slowly.
That's because
I feel like Messi's doing the same thing, to be honest. Because like, you know, after he won the World Cup, he was asked on the interview like, "Are you staying on the national team or something like that?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm staying on the national team." You feel me? And I felt as if it was more like, you know, at the moment he's like super excited. You know, he's won the World Cup. You know, everything smiles for him. But it's like, again, what you guys say. I feel like these like top players, especially like Messi, Ronaldo, they haven't lost their drive whatsoever. You know what I mean?
No.
So,
Messi completed football.
he did.
He completed it 100%. He's gonna get an 8th Ballon d'Or. I think he will.
Yeah.
8th Ballon d'Or. You have 8. You have a World Cup. You have 4 Champions Leagues. You have Player of the Years, Copa America.
Yeah, everything.
At this point, Messi can go to Inter Milan. Not Inter Milan. Inter Miami.
Chill.
And
chill in
man.
Miami.
Play there, bro. Have fun in Miami. Live the Miami
I'll
life
catch
with
a
your
game when he
wife.
comes to DC. I'll catch a game when he comes to DC. But you know
Exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, he can play for fun. Ronaldo still has unfinished work, but we'll see if Ronaldo end up doing it.
Well, I want to say, guys, this was like a great debate. This is a great debate.
Man, it was really a great debate. You know what we do at the end
Of course. Jerseys.
Jersey
what
reveal.
are we wearing today?
What are we
Starting with
wearing?
our guest today. What are you wearing, bro?
Match worn DC jersey.
DC United.
DC United.
Nice.
By the way, Wayne Rooney's coaching DC United, so
Yeah.
shout out.
Shout out to Wayne Rooney. Yeah.
What are you wearing?
Me? Chelsea jersey. Prem is back on Monday. I'm excited.
2 ugly jerseys. They don't even matter.
He's a hater, bro. We're the best team in London. Here you go, right here.
Yeah, best team.
We beat you.
Huh?
I'm wearing Man U, of course. Prem is back, like we said. And you know I'm rooting for my team, so we got it in his chest.
Right here. Support. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Giveaway, you know, winner was Paul. Congratulations.
Congrats, Paul.
Congrats. We'll be getting your jersey soon. And, you know, I'm glad we had this happening today.
Peace
Everyone,
out.
Until
peace.
next week.
Peace.